One of the most common complaints from lecturers and examiners is that despite writing lots of information, students can often fail to answer the set question clearly and fully. Much of this can be attributed to not understanding the question completely and poor planning, leading to information not being structured in the most effective way. This mini tutorial emphasises the benefits in not rushing straight into answering a question, but instead spending time thinking about what a question is really asking, breaking it down, and organising your ideas and planning. It focuses on looking at setting the question in context, breaking a question down, how to generate ideas into a plan, and how to add to your plan, before bringing it all back together again in order to create a coherent, well-structured essay. Let's see how this might work with an example. Meet our student Alice. She's been set the following question and wonders where to start. It might be helpful by setting the question into context. To do this, you need to firstly identify what the main topic is. In this case, it's the buyer decision-making process and its importance and relevance. Questions often only focus on a specific aspect of your course, so try and think about how this topic fits into its wider context. Knowing this can help your understanding of the topic and also appreciate why knowledge of this topic is important or interesting. In this case, the buyer decision-making process is part of consumer behaviour. And understanding this is key to any organisation, as knowing how consumers might react to different marketing stimuli can help them make appropriate business decisions. Having understood the context then, it might be worth trying to break the question down. Make sure you understand all the key words and think about what the question's actually asking you to do. Simply writing in this case about the buyer decision-making process won't be likely to get you high marks. Instead, it asks you for an example of this using a brand and how organisations understand the buyer decision-making process and use it to make marketing strategies. You also need to understand the instruction words as well. In this case, Alice is being asked to analyse, which requires breaking the process down and looking at it in more detail. Your question might ask for a different focus, such as comparing and contrasting, evaluating, or critically examining. All these require you to write in a slightly different way. Take time to read the question a number of times. Maybe writing it out in your own words might also help. Asking yourself some key questions about what you might need to cover is also an important stage and helps you to focus before picking up any books and potentially going off on a tangent. Like Alice, you should now probably be at the stage to generate some ideas. This is a really important stage and one that students often miss out. You should do this before rushing into researching, as it helps to focus your reading and will save you time in the long run. Start with what you already know and build up from them. Remember, this topic shouldn't be completely new to you, and you should already have some knowledge of the subject. Think about what you know from lectures and general knowledge. In this case, Alice knows the buyer decision-making process starts with needs recognition. There's a stage about alternatives that she's not quite sure what it's called, and 3 other stages which she marks on her plan. All plans should contain an introduction and a conclusion, which can be added to as you progress the research and planning stages. She also knows that each stage will require some theory, descriptions, examples and evidence, which she can start to add to her plan. Your plan should evolve, and through reading you will develop further understanding, which may change the order of the items you wish to cover. It's much easier to do it at this stage and far less painful than it will if you wait until you've started writing a first draft. When you're reading, it's then useful to add a summary of the points you read to your plan. Recording evidence and examples in the way of books can also help, and it will make the task of finding details of these for your bibliography and reference lists at the end much less stressful, as here. You can also use your plan to highlight areas where further research is needed. This will enable your reading to become much more focused and time effective. Taking time to produce a plan might seem like an unnecessary task, with the pressures of time making you feel you should start writing. But planning your ideas and thoughts in this way has a number of benefits. It encourages you to think about the question and avoid the major pitfalls of answering a slightly different question to the one that you have been asked. Rushing into reading can often leave students with quotes that they're desperate to use, but don't actually answer the set question. It also helps you to produce a logical structure. You'll be able to see at a glance what points there are that you're trying to make and establish a way through those points so they form a coherent argument before you begin writing. Keeping the question at the centre of the plan and spending time at the start considering its meaning could help you ensure that you stick to the question and keep on track. Above all, having a plan will save you time in the long run. It'll ensure that you spend time researching the right things and less time redrafting the essay at the later stages to ensure they're structured correctly. So to recap, the steps involved in planning an essay are: firstly, to spend time understanding the question, setting it in some context and breaking it down and understanding why the question is important. Then, generating your ideas in a form of a plan and identifying areas for further research. And finally, keep adding to the plan as you develop your understanding. Or, put more simply, in the words of Benjamin Franklin, fail to plan and plan to fail.